5, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that'll take any other.
And there one other thing, and I think this is the right place to bring it up. Budget reviews. There's been some confusion on the days. Evidently, there was a thought of having them Tuesday, not only tonight but Tuesday and Wednesday, and even that I think has changed. But a lot of the board was never asked or communicated to them that those days were added, and a couple of us have conflicts on Tuesday and Wednesday. So if we need more than tonight, I would ask that we pick another day other than those 2 days.
Well, currently it's scheduled for Wednesday. If we don't complete tonight, I have conflicts Tuesday also. So
I have a conflict Wednesday. I think Tom has a conflict on Wednesday.
Well, we'll discuss that.
We can do that in the meeting, or however.
We'll do it in the study session.
All right.
So, with that, any other?
I realize there's not a motion been made, but I would support Mr. Bundy on that. The fact that we were never made aware of this, even though it was posted officially, it just seems that it should be rescheduled for a later date.
Okay, we can do that. Any other additions, deletions to tonight's agenda? Okay, if none offered, those in favor of approving the agenda as amended, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None offered. The agenda stands as amended. With that, we'll open it up to public comment, limited to tonight's agenda item. With none, we'll just default that to the public comment at the end of the meeting. Let's see, move on to consent agenda. Mr. Treasurer.
Excuse me, I'd like approval of tonight's consent agenda 17-078, which includes the minutes of the February 12th, 2018 regular meeting, the minutes of the closed section of February 12th, 2018, approval of a check register dated through March 9th, 2018, and approval of fiscal year 2018-2019 Township staff holiday schedule.
Support.
Okay, moved by Treasurer Van Oss, seconded by Trustee Budney. The consent agenda discussion among the board. None offered. Those in favor of approving the consent agenda as amended, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None offered. That carries. With no action items, Madam Clerk.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to make an effort to speak right into the microphone as I was coached by our technicians in the booth. I just have a couple of updates. One is regarding newly registered voters and voting absentee for the first time. This pertains mostly to college students who may have registered, or high school students who are registering to vote and then will go away to college and not be in town for their first election. If they did not register to vote at a Secretary of State's office or in person at the clerk's office, we may have to have them present themselves to verify their signature before they can vote absentee for the first time. Isn't that correct? That's correct. So it happens every year that we have young students who go away to school and then apply for an absent voter ballot and are not given one because they have not yet voted in person. So try to get that accomplished as soon as you can before you go to school, or register to vote at a Secretary of State's office or here at the clerk's office. Sometimes when organizations have a Get Out the Vote campaign, they will register people to vote with cards, and that's a nice way to register, but if you haven't presented yourself for authentication of your signature, you will not be able to vote absentee. And then the second thing I wanted to mention was the requests to be placed on the permanent absent voter list. So there are, we sent out some letters earlier this month, mostly to residents over a certain age. You are now qualified to sign up for the absent voter permanent the permanent absent voter list. So if you're interested in being placed on that list, please contact Sharon Gray or Brian Friel at the clerk's office. You can do so over the phone or by email or in person. And also, if you think you're going to be out of town or for some other reason need to apply for an absent voter ballot, you can do so by contacting the clerk's office. They can't put you on a permanent list at this time, but they can put you on for the election cycle. And so I just wanted to make sure that people were aware of that information. And then just a little update that I had some conversations with our television GITV guru, and it does seem that we, since in the absence of a cable commission, wanted to let you know that we are due for an upgrade or an update with Revise on our township website, and that Ted is starting to put those wheels into motion. And unless Sharon has something to add from the staff, that's it for the clerk's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Mr. Treasurer.
Thank you, Brian. For the month of January, Gross Seal had a total of $21,698,862 and some change, invested in various accounts at an interest rate of 0.96%. That's 0.96%. More detailed information is available online at the Treasurer's link on grosseal.com. All 2017 paid real taxes are now considered unpaid real property tax are considered delinquent and must now be paid at Wayne County with further penalties. Payments to Wayne County can be made online at waynecounty.com/PTA. This site is up-to-date tax information available. We'll follow it to a Detroit link. There's a new kiosk located in the Rite Aid at Telegraph and Taylor. I don't know what the address is, but if you call Annette, she'll give that to you where you can make your payments. All delinquent personal property taxes for local businesses are to be paid through Grosse Township. Statements will be sent out by my office in early April to those businesses with delinquent personal property tax. The Treasurer's Office has begun to compile the tax roll to balance this and settle the 2017 tax roll with Wayne County. As of March 1st, 2017, we've collected 97% of the total of the 217 tax roll, and distributions were made timely. And do we have a Commerce Park meeting, third Monday? Okay. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. Trustee reports. Mr. Malvesto.
I really don't have any report this evening, but I do have a couple questions. I'm not sure when quite appropriate to ask them, so I'm going to do this during my report. In regards to Clerk O'Connor's remarks about the communication department, we've had a blank screen since last Friday. Totally black, no sound, no picture, nothing. Prior to that, most of last week, it was a blue screen with the sunflower and what is the PBR broadcast. I'd like to know, the question has been asked before by residents, by this board. I'd like to know when that's going to be fixed. We may not need to have an explanation readily available this evening, but I think it should be made available to us, the question answered. Also, this question doesn't need to be answered tonight, but I would appreciate an answer by next week. In regards to the foam party, initially when I heard about it, I didn't have any real thoughts on it until it was brought up to me by some people in the township, including some business owners. I did an online search. I saw some videos of a foam party, and I'd like to know how this is going to be controlled, where it's going to be located. If we could have those answers our next meeting, I'd really appreciate it, because personally, I didn't find it very attractive, but you give me the reasons that it's perfectly acceptable, how it's going to be controlled, who's going to clean it up, and whether or not our emergency services are prepared to handle any issues resolving from that. Go for it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Malvesto. Mr. Bletcher.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I have the pleasure of sitting on Open Space, Greenways, and Police Commission. Because of tonight's agenda and the business at hand with the budget, I'd like to defer those until our next meeting on March 22nd. I do, however, have one personal thing that I would like to say. A year and a half ago, right after the primary election, I had a heart attack that led to a placement of a stent, and the advice that I received from my cardiologist was listen to your body, you will heal. A lot of good things, a lot of great things in your future, but listen to your body. Several months ago, I began having some problems with flushing. I began having problems with what I felt was indigestion over the heart. I had problems with energy and a little bit of problems with some depression that was related to that. His words came back to me about listen to your body, listen to what's going on. A week and a half ago, I went into the hospital and had 2 more stents put in with a 95 and a 99% blockage on one. The first stent was also blocking, so I had an extension that was put on that. I say that for 2 reasons. Number one, I want to thank everyone on this board for their thoughts, so much of the staff, the techs, the managers that we have here. But most importantly, I want to encourage everyone in this room and everyone that may see this at some point, listen to your body. Listen to what's going on. You know when something's not right. Take care of it. And I sincerely hope that each and every person here and each and every person that hears that will follow that advice. It was great advice for me. I just want to take the time to pass that along. And again, thank you for your thoughts. Nothing further.
Thanks, Carl. You may, sir, Chief.
To add to Mr. Bletcher's police commission issues. Some of you may not have seen, I hope that all of you have, that again we have been the safest community in Michigan. This is 7 out of the last 9 years, I believe. But one thing I would like to say is we not only went from 31st to 27th in the United States, it says in there, and I haven't been able to confirm this with other organizations. I usually go on the FBI chart and I actually add the numbers up myself. But we're now 5th in the United States of the safest community between 10,000 and 50,000 people, which is quite an accomplishment. I just want to say thank you. I know they said in the article it has to do with the bridges. That it's a psychological effect, there's no doubt in my mind, of 2 ways on and 2 ways off. And that's the exact reason we put the LPR cameras on both bridges. But it's a collaborative effort. I just want to say thank you to the citizens of Grosse Ile. It is a collaborative effort between them, the police department, the support we receive from the Township Board all year long, the support, and even the programs that we have come up from the Police Commission level. I want to thank the Police Commission. They've always supported me and my spending. And again, when I say my spending, 95% of all the extras in this police department are due to our forfeiture fund. And we have a very aggressive forfeiture unit, drug forfeiture unit. And without the support, being able to buy these things, we get the best technology, the best tools. It helps us. But we have the support of the board again, the support of the Police Commission. I see Bob Z and Carl are here tonight. I just want to thank all of you personally. And again, for the citizens, that they've always continued to support the police department. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. And it's really big. And it's not, I get that it's big for Michigan, but it's huge for being 5th in the United States. That's huge. Because that means there's probably 45 states that couldn't even beat us. You know, and in the whole United States, a minimum of 45 states couldn't even beat us, cities in those states. So thank you to all. I just want to let you know that.
Thank you, Chief.
Chief? The bridges are one thing, Chief, but we're, 15 miles from some of the roughest neighborhoods on the planet? That's not a big barrier. Yeah, not a big cushion. So take a bow, and for the rest of the force. Mr. Nelson.
I have 2 announcements to make tonight. One is on March 14th is the Festival Commission monthly meeting. That's the 14th at 7:30 in this room. And secondly, on March 22nd at 7 p.m., the Rec Commission meeting is scheduled to be in this room. 7 o'clock on the 22nd, 7:30 on the 14th. That's all I have. I have nothing to say about my stents because so far I've been able to avoid them. But listen to your body.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson. Mr. Budney.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. First, we have a ZBA meeting this month. It'll be on the 26th in this room, 7 o'clock. I really don't know. I'm flabbergasted. I don't know what to do. We'll probably have a pre-meeting just to introduce ourselves to the rest of the board. But we do have one a couple weeks from now. Also tomorrow, the 13th, a DPS meeting here, 7 o'clock, and we will be talking about roads. We'll be talking about projects. We'll be talking about millage. And I would just ask anybody who has any input, please come. Let us know what your thoughts are on both those topics, because we are going to get a plan together and put something out.
That's tomorrow, right?
That is tomorrow at 7 o'clock. That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Budney. Mr. Sardius, attorney's report? That's usually good. Mr. Riem.
We're always concerned when it's a short agenda, right? I do have a few brief items I'd like to report to the board and the community. On the road side of things, potholes. Last week, Wayne County was here for a few days, and I'm sure they're coming back. They were tied up on 96 and dealing with major roads, but they were here, and I think they probably lost a few shovels in some of those potholes. So please don't be shy. Call the 1-877 road crew number for Wayne County. They encourage everyone to do that because they want to log and list everything into their statistical matrix. So please do so. Along
Dale,
that lines,
if I may, because I've gotten a lot of calls
Yes,
on
sir.
that, and I just want to say to the people, some of them were complaining because, I called the number, I got my work order number, I called back, nothing was done, and they said the work order was complete. Mistakes are going to be made. Don't get mad. That small crew has a big area to take care of in Wayne County, and they do actually service us pretty well. Just call back, set up a new work order, and just stay on them, and they will come out and do it.
that is correct. And they like to keep tabs of things with the work order
Right.
system. So, and along the lines of roads, in the next few meetings or so, I'm not sure the schedule, they'll be most likely coming forward the water main project on West River Road, which will include road paving, and that'll be from Freebridge to Church Road, correct? Freebridge north to Church.
Yes.
Wayne County is contributing $800,000 to that project. So they are partnering with us, so that is a good thing. That's something that Trustee Budney and the Commission initiated with Wayne County last summer, and it's all coming together. A while back, we did approve the intergovernmental agreement. It's at the County Commission waiting for their signature, so everything's in process. This Thursday, from 9 to 3, the bridge is scheduled to be closed for inspection again. Remember, third Thursday of the month seems to be their pattern, so they're going to stick to that as far as we know. And we expect sometime soon their plan, their proposal, their schedule.
Again, Dale, that March is supposed to be the last inspection. So from that point on, something should roll out of that.
I spoke to Jim Wagner, the former manager of the city of Trenton, who has retired, but he stayed on as a consultant for the McLeod site. He assured me that it is still in process. They have not closed on the property because the purchaser is working with the Environmental Protection Agency on what level of environmental cleanup, what review, what permits. So they expect something soon. So he's keeping us in the loop, and we'll obviously pass that on to the board and the community. And last, I just want everyone to know, unfortunately, there was the active shooter situation in Florida not too long ago. The township staff was trained by our police department last year. Joe did a refresher with the managers, and he is, along with the other officers, going to be doing a presentation to the schools on how they would handle that situation. Obviously, it sparked a lot of interest at the school level from the parents. So the police are doing their outreach and information, and that's all scheduled to take place over the next month or so. So I just wanted to share some of the things that we have going on. And as far as the roads and potholes, drive safe, and when the road crews are there, please proceed with caution. So.
Comment, Dale.
Yes, sir.
The DPS Commission has placed cones on roadsides near potholes. They come up on you really quick. Those cones really help on those areas where there's just a stray pothole here or there, not a whole section of road that's tore up. So if you'd encourage them to keep doing that, that really helps. It's not in the road, but it identifies there's a pothole there because they come up on you really quick.
All right, great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Ream. Now that's an innovative, proactive approach. Now that we know why the cone is there, it's there to point out there's a problem there. The way not to blow your tires is don't watch where you're going and don't drive into the pothole. Easy for me to say. Okay, just a couple of odds and ends. I'm going to pick up on the bridge. The status, as far as we know, this Thursday from 9 to 3 will be the final inspection. That's as of right now. And from there, later towards the end of the month, there's, again, no guarantees on anything. This was as of a couple of weeks ago. Thursday is supposed to be the final bridge inspection. We should have the inspection report completed by the end of the month. From there, it goes out. It's going to be a design build project, so it goes out to contractors for bids, find the dollars for it, and construction hopefully this summer. Can't guarantee there will not be any medium-term bridge closures. Maybe a day, maybe a couple days, maybe a week. I was given no heads up, and I have no inkling to think there will be a long-term closure like when it was redecked. That's all subject to change because it's Wayne County's bridge, but they've been pretty good about keeping us in the loop about what they're doing on it. And Dale and I both have the phone numbers of people we can bug if we're not getting the answers. But they've been pretty straightforward. So that's the big one coming up. A couple other odds and ends. Let's see, this Wednesday is the St. Patrick's Day dinner, but it's lunch to some people, 12:30 p.m. On Wednesday the 14th. It's $10. Please get your tickets in advance. You can call the rec department. Other rec issue, March 24th, 9 a.m. is the Easter egg hunt. If you want to see my 2.5-year-old grandson go absolutely nuts, it's really entertaining. But that's available. That's a pre-registration, $5 per child. They are not doing, Kim, as far as you're not doing the breakfast again. It just to the farm. At Centennial Farm, so it's fun. It's just for the little guys, and they have a blast. And that is it for me. At that point, let's turn it over to public commentary. You know the rules. 3 minutes. Who wants to be first? There you go, Mrs. Walker.
Kathy Walker, to Thorpe Court. It's that time of year again. We're starting to get ready for kayaking, and if you've got the itch, next Tuesday we're having a party at Riverside Kayak Connection. It's free. They're supplying the pizza, I'm supplying the goodies, and it's going to be a nice little, let's talk about kayaking, let's have some fun. Everyone is invited. Come on down. There'll be beverages. I don't know if there'll be adult beverages, but there might be, and lots of food, and it's just a nice time. We started it last year, and it was a nice event. And the reason we're doing that is because, once again, we start on May 29th. I've already spoken with your rec director, who's been just so helpful, and Kim is going to get everything set up. We start on May 29th, the last Tuesday of the month, and it's our 6th season, which is really kind of nice. And I think a lot of people are starting to talk about it. We have one more thing to tell you, though, and it's kind of a big deal. We were put into a national tourism item. Hold on, let me get that for you. It's in, I couldn't get it on the same page. Anyways, you can see, I think, over 100,000 people have viewed it so far. There was a tourism, about a minute and a half tourism promotion that is going national. We Kayak made 1 second. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot, but I think the Tigers made 2 seconds. So we are the only downriver community in there, and we are the only people from Grosse Seal. And it's, like I said, it's at, if you happen to see it, I posted it on the Facebook for the Township. It's at a minute and 12 seconds. Don't blink, you'll miss us, but we're there, and it's pretty cool. And I'm going to try to get on with Route Raj and, again, promote Grosse Seal, promote our kayaking, and how wonderful it is down here. So I thought I'd just get all three of the things out. But again, if you can, on the 20th, come on down. Meet the people. It's just, people are just going to show up who kayaks and talk about it. They're from all over. They're from Grosse Seal. They're from Dearborn. They're from all over. So we have a nice mix, and hopefully we'll get more people. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. Other public comment? Mr. Clark.
Clark Park Lane, legal fees.
Legal fees on the warrant list dated 3/9/2018 in the amount of $1,450 from Thomas Authority, our general counsel.
What was that?
$1,450 from our general counsel, Thomas Authority, and $27,346 from Katz, Steiser, and Wyckoff PC for POAM arbitration.
$7,000 for POM
Arbitration.
arbitration. Okay, Dump the Junk is going to be in October. It's going to be 1 day. Might be a little longer, but it's going to be 1 day only. Got to have ID. We have a lot of people say, "Well, gee, I didn't do it last year." Well, you can do it. You can do it this year. If you don't want to come in, don't come in. Now, I got something I want to read, and when my time is up, then I will come back next week or next pay and whatever the hell it is and sort of finish it. And then I got another one on somebody else, too. Okay, this is verified by trutherfiction.com and also Snoops. Liz Conklin is an award-winning author, seasoned journalist, advocate of sex crimes and victims. Liz began her journey at the University of Iowa, and she received bachelor's journalism and political science. Trump Does the Unthinkable Thing by Liz Conklin, July 16. As an entertainment journalist, she had the opportunity to cover Trump for over a decade, and in many years covering him, never anything negative about the man until he announced he was running for president. Keep in mind, I paid a lot of money to dig up dirt on celebrities like Trump for living in the scandalous stories. And a famous billionaire could potentially sold a lot of magazines and would have been a huge feather in his cap. Instead, I found he doesn't drink or do drugs. He's a hard-working businessman. On top of that, he's one of the most generous celebrities in the world, and a heart filled with most gold. It was $100 million York house. Since the media has failed to miserably as reporting the truth about Trump, I decided to put together some of the kindness he committed over the 3 decades which he has gone virtually unnoticed and fallen on deaf ears. In 1986, Trump prevented the foreclosure of Annabelle Hill's farm after her husband committed suicide. Trump personally phoned them down to the auction and stopped the sale of her home and offered the widow money. Trump decided to take action when he saw Hill's pleas to News report. 9888. Commercial airliner refused to fly Andrew Tan Sink, Orthodox Jew child from rare illness across the country to Medicare Center because he had to travel with elaborate support system. His grief-stricken parents contacted Trump and helped him, didn't hesitate to send his own plane to the children from Los Angeles to New York so he could get his treatment. In 91, 200 Marines who served in Operation Dennis Storm spent time at Camp Lejeune in North Carolina before they were scheduled to return home. However, the Marines were told that there was a mistake and has been made, and the aircraft could not be able to take them home. And departure date. When Trump got wind of this, he sent his plane, made 2 trips to North Carolina, to Miami, and safely returned the Gulf War Marines loved ones. Now, what time have I got?
1 minute left, Woody.
Minute?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not going to get done, so I'll get as far as I can. A 1995 motorist stopped and helped Trump after his limo was traveled and got a flat tire. Trump asked the Good Samaritan what he could repair him. All the man asked was a bouquet of flowers for his wife. A few weeks later, Trump sent the flowers and a note that said, "We paid off your mortgage." In 96, I'll read this one and then we'll stop. In 96, Trump filed a lawsuit against the city of Palm Beach, Florida, accusing the town of discriminating against Mar-a-Lago Resort Club because it was allowed. It allowed Jews and blacks. Abe Foreman, who was the NAD league director at the time, said Trump put a light on the on Palm Beach. Not all the beauty and the glitter, but its seamy side of discrimination. Fox also noted that Trump's charge has a trickle-down effect because the other clubs followed lead in becoming Jews and blacks. So, next meeting, I'll tell you the rest of it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Clark. Other public comment? Can't see everybody.
I do.
Mr. Novak.
Chad Novak, Alba Drive. As Mr. Nelson said, we will have our festival meeting this Wednesday from 7:30. It is televised. Anybody has any questions or comments, we have all the answers to your concerns relating to the foam party. I think you should know that there were 2 of those done here before, so maybe you'd like to do a little more research before. So some of your concerns are handled, but I did some research. I have all the answers you're going to need. Let's see everybody Wednesday for a good festival meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Novak. Other comments? All right, with none, entertain a motion to...
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn the business meeting by Trustee Budney at 8:05, seconded by Trustee Bletcher. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None offered. We will adjourn. Take a few minutes. We'll start at 8:15 and get into the budget presentation.
Are we going to the...
Next door.